Hey, welcome back. In our last lesson, you solved radical equations like this one and identified true and extraneous solutions. But what if there's a constant outside the radical, like this? Or what if there are multiple radicals, like this equation with 2 square roots on opposite sides? Or this equation with 2 square roots on the same side? These have a bit more going on than our first equation, but we already have the skills to make them more familiar with just a few extra steps. Let's get into it. We'll start with the equation the square root of x plus 10 minus 5 equals x minus 7. How can we get this to a more familiar form? We can add 5 to both sides, eliminating the 5 on the left side and turning the right side into x minus 2. See how this is like the single radical equations you solved in our last lesson? We use inverse operations to isolate the radical to make squaring both sides of an equation easier. We generally don't want constants on the same side as a radical to avoid extra terms when we square both sides, which is the next step to solving this. All right, go ahead and solve on your own. Your final answer should only contain true solutions. Pause the video now. We'll first square both sides of the equation, and then subtract x and 10 from both sides, before factoring it into 0 equals x plus 1 times x minus 6. The solutions then are -1 and positive 6. How can we determine whether our solutions are true or extraneous? Yeah, we can substitute them back into the original equation, but we can use its simplified form here since it has fewer terms and it hasn't been squared yet, making it perfect for substitution. Substituting both solutions and analyzing our findings, which solution is true? Since -1 did not satisfy the equation, it is extraneous, while positive 6 is a true solution, so our final answer is x equals 6. Moving on, this problem asks us to solve the square root of 3x plus 7 minus 7x equals -5x minus 1. Remember, we can use inverse operations first to isolate the radical before solving. Also, I'm telling you now, this one won't factor into integers, so you'll eventually have to use the quadratic formula to find solutions. Pause now to solve, but don't worry about checking for extraneous solutions just yet. I'm going to show you a cool trick once you have the solutions. All right, we'll first isolate the radical by adding 7x on both sides. We square both sides, and then use inverse operations to turn the left side to 0. We can't factor 4x squared minus 7x minus 6, so we'll use the quadratic formula, which results in 7 plus or minus square root 145 over 8. Therefore, our two solutions are 7 plus square root of 145 over 8 and 7 minus square root 145 over 8. Now, you probably noticed that if we were to substitute these back into the original equation, it would be a bit messy. So we can actually use a calculator to convert our solutions into decimals rounded to the nearest hundredth. Take a moment to grab a calculator and round these solutions. Okay, these solutions round to 2.38 and -0.63. I'll put these on the left side here. Now we can substitute these solutions into the simplified original equation much easier. Substituting 2.38 for x into the equation, we find that it is a true solution. And substituting -0.63 for x into the equation, we find that it is extraneous. So our final answer is x equals 7 plus the square root of 145 over 8. Well done. Let's move on to the second scenario that we saw earlier in the video, where an equation has square roots on both sides of the equation. There aren't any terms outside of the radicals, and they're already isolated from each other. So, what can we do on both sides of the equation? We can square both sides to cancel both square roots, resulting in x plus 10 equals x minus 7. Both sides have a single x, and if we subtract them from both sides, we end up with 10 equals negative 7. What does this mean about our solution? It means there is no solution. No value of x would make this equation true. Okay, try this equation that does have a solution. Pause the video now and come back once you're done. Okay, since there aren't any terms outside of the radicals, we can just square both sides of the equation to cancel both square roots, giving us x plus 1 equals 3x minus 5. Then, using inverse operations, we simplify the equation into 6 equals 2x, which simplifies to x equals 3. We should check whether this solution is true or extraneous by substituting 3 for x into the original equation, and it is true. Our final answer is x equals 3. Now, take a look at this next equation. The square root of x plus 10 minus the square root of x minus 7 equals 3. What's different about this one? Maybe you noticed that both square roots are on the same side of the equation, so we need to separate them. We could either subtract the square root of x plus 10 from both sides, or add the square root of x minus 7 to both sides. But let's add here. This results in the square root of x plus 10 equals 3 plus the square root of x minus 7. We can go ahead and square both sides now. The left side results in x plus 10. As for the right side, squaring this expression involves using the distributive property we used to multiply radicals or polynomials. Pause the video now to try that yourself. We'll first distribute the 3, resulting in 9 plus 3 times the square root of x minus 7. Then we'll distribute the square root of x minus 7, resulting in 3 times the square root of x minus 7 plus x minus 7. Can we simplify this expression further? Yeah, we can combine the like radicals, resulting in 6 times the square root of x minus 7. And subtract that 7 from the 9, resulting in 2. Let's go ahead and put that expression back into our work. It looks like now we have an equation where there is one square root, so we'll need to isolate it using inverse operations to remove the 2 and x, and then to cancel out its coefficient of 6. This will result in the expression 4/3 equals the square root of x minus 7. Now that our radical is finally isolated, what can we do now? Yep, we can square both sides, resulting in 16/9 equals x minus 7. We almost have x by itself. We just need to add 7 on both sides, so we add 7 on the right side, and on the left, we'll add 7 in fraction form with a common denominator to 16/9, which would be 63/9. This results in 79/9 equals x. Our final step is to substitute our answer back into the original equation, which we can do more easily by converting 79/9 into a decimal by using a calculator. You can pause the video to grab a calculator if you want and round 79/9 to the nearest hundredths place. 79/9 rounds to 8.78, and substituting that back into the equation, we can see that it is a true solution. Our final answer is x equals 79/9. Okay, time to put everything together in this last problem. Solve the following equation. Use a calculator to round solutions to the nearest hundredth and check for extraneous solutions. The equation is the square root of 3x plus 1 minus 6 equals the square root of x minus 4. Pause the video now. You could have either added 4 or added 6 on both sides to isolate one of the radicals. The result would be the same. I'm going to use adding 6 on both sides. Now we can square both sides. The left side becomes 3x plus 1. And here's the work for the right side of the equation. becoming x plus 4 square root x plus 4. Now we can use inverse operations to isolate the remaining radical, square root of x, resulting in 2x minus 3 over 4 equals the square root of x. Now that the radical is isolated, we square both sides, resulting in 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 over 16 equals x. Using inverse operations, we end up with the quadratic expression 4x squared minus 28x plus 9 equals 0. We can't factor this, so we will need to use the quadratic formula. Before we move on, if you've made any mistakes up to this point, now's the chance to pause and fix them and finish the rest of the problem before we review the work. All right, here's the work for the quadratic formula, which we converted to decimals rounded to the nearest hundredth, so we can easily substitute them back into the equation. Substituting the solutions, we see that the solution rounded to 6.66 is true, and the solution rounded to 0.34 is extraneous. So our final answer is x equals 7 plus 2 square root 10 over 2.
Great job solving radical equations involving 2 square roots or additional steps. We use inverse operations to isolate the radical to make squaring both sides of an equation easier. We can use the quadratic formula if factoring isn't possible, and we can always use a calculator to round solutions to the nearest hundredths to check for extraneous solutions. Stay curious, and I'll see you next time.
Hey, hey.